There we go. There we go. Good morning, everybody. I got my voice back 95, 96%. Come up on today's unforgettable episode. We got Jeremy Jensen revealing secrets to hunting the unhuntable. Top talent. No, not Sasquatch. Then Jeff Desmo drops by to explain why chasing likes. Yeah, it's like chasing your shadow. That's so yesterday. You're never going to catch it. Plus, can Vaseline change your life? Or just make you dangerously slippy? We got all the answers and all the groundbreaking insights into the psychology of love with AJ Zeglen. Drop it into Mindfield. Basically, we're going to keep your mind sharp, your relationship fresh, and that backside your rear end. My favorite body part, thoroughly contemplated. But hey, listen, before we dive in, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment on the only morning show to get you guys out of bed and not hit the snooze button. Mornings and Alive with Keith. Friends, you got myself, John Anderson, and C. Marty Fit this morning. And listen, remember, this is an R-rated experience, so either usher the kids out of the room or invest in some good headphones. And hey, guys, like I said, hit the snooze button. You're going to be behind the guy who didn't this morning, so I invite you to get after it. And listen, speaking of accountability, we got the man of the hour, Christopher Martin, joining us back in the lab this morning. Producer Jimmy and producer Melissa behind the scenes. Jimmy, let's bring the boys in. Let's get the show on the road. My coffee maker was running behind today, so we are running a couple of minutes behind. What is going on, gentlemen, today?
What's up, baby? We missed you guys, baby. We're back, baby. What's going on, baby?
What was going on, Mark? What were you crushing?
It wasn't nothing out of the ordinary. Just had to, rearrange my schedule a little bit.
Marty's got some bills to pay, and the job is like, hey, I got to have you come over here so we can have you help you pay the bills. Eh, Marty?
Something like that.
Hey, Marty, history took place in your neck of the woods over the weekend. Alexander Ovechkin, the greatest goal scorer of all time. I just had to call it out, brother. Washington Capital fan. I know you are. Ha, ha, ha. But Ovi got the goal on the weekend there, my friend. So that's good news for the Capital fans in the world there, Marty.
That's what's up, man. I didn't even know that.
It looks like, sorry to interrupt, looks like you got yourself less brunches, more crunches hoodie on, my brother.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we got the Snuggie on today, man.
There you go.
The furry hoodie, man.
Dude, look at that thing. That thing's massive. Is that a full body thing, Marty, or what?
No. Just a hoodie. It's just a hoodie.
It's a hoodie.
It looks like it's like the robe material. You know, that nice fucking shit that you put on. You get out of the shower, you want to put that whatever that material is. It's that stuff.
Hey, look, you and Keith are white bougie. I'm black bougie. This black bougie. Yeah.
I like it, brother. I said just hit me like a ton of bricks. I don't know why. I totally lost track of what we're talking about. I was like, look, Mark's taking his line to the next level. Baby.
I'm trying to.
That's right. So, Marty, you missed my voiceless experience yesterday. You called me yesterday morning.
Yo, John. I called Keith to update Keith. He answered the phone like, hello? I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, are you okay? What is going on?
Did you swallow John Anderson? Is that why you're on the John Anderson voice plan there?
I don't know what happened.
A mean motherfucker getting after it first thing in the morning. Mart,
he's check it out. Yesterday, he shows up on the show. He's got no voice. And he is fucking rosy as can be because he just got done doing some sort of exercise. So it was quite a combo. He was like, when you're kicking ass in the morning, there's a little swell to the face and it's a little beet red. It went down after a couple minutes, but it was between the rosy cheeks and that little glisten in the hoarse voice. There could have been a lot of reasons why he lost that voice. I'm glad he talked about what was going on.
Hey, Johnny, I got to tell you, man. So, Martin, just to share with you, Carter's hockey junior or amateur hockey career ended on Sunday. So I had a tough day yesterday, and Johnny was awesome. We had a good chat about life and titles and where we're existing in the world because that chapter was finished for me over the weekend. So Carter's done, but Johnny, Marty, 4:00 yesterday, who shows up in the gym to get after it? Hockey scenes is not even 24 hours done, boys. Not even 24 hours done. I get a text. Hey, Daddy, you around later? Yeah. I'm coming over for a lift. Yeah, boy, that's after it. I go, what are you doing? He goes, I'm getting after it, man. I'm getting ready for next season. So there you go, boys. The guy just talk about non-negotiables. Talk
Mamba
about
mentality.
Habits, right? Just go back after it.
Well, I mean, it's because when it comes down to it, that was all that game You know, the end of that layer, so to speak, of his career was just fucking one of a number of checkpoints he had hit up to that point. He's just going after the next one now.
Yes. Jimmy.
White people get so fucking bent out of shape, good or bad, that's the way people are. Fucking blows me away.
Did you say white people or white people?
White.
I think it did sound like white people. I heard that, but I said he didn't say that.
Okay, we can say white, we can say purple, black, yellow, we can say every color on the planet. But white people, if we want to add their colors, that's fine. But we got to add every fucking color. Because it's not a race-based statement. It's a human being-based statement.
It's for everybody.
If you want to start fucking listing adjectives, that's on you.
Oh, that's so funny, man. And then I got Jimmy texting me saying, "You're sweating a lot." I know, Jimmy. I'm sweating like a motherfucker right now. I just finished my workout this morning and I was running, not behind, but I squeezed it all in before the show. So I'm just all red, beat face and sweating. So
this is actually nothing compared to yesterday, though.
No, not at all. Not at all. Hey, Johnny. So I got something for us this morning that I wanted to throw on the table. A couple weeks ago, you were talking about your beard. And good old Seth MacMahon had some advice that I admit I forgot to get to, but you shaved your beard. You've been managing your grooming, boys. Do you guys use Vaseline as part of your lifestyle, taking care of yourselves, or what?
At one point I did till I found out where that shit comes from.
Where it comes from?
They call it fucking petroleum jelly for a fucking reason. It's like a side effect. I don't know how it works, but I know when they're fucking creating gasoline and oil, somehow this shit floats to the top. They fucking swipe it off. They put it in a fucking can and they sell it to the American public like it's some fucking helpful thing.
Okay, the Vaseline segment is done, Marty. We're gonna go to the next topic.
that
no,
shit
I
works.
swear to God, dude. When I was a kid, I told you I had eczema. I had to go to see the fucking doctors and all sorts of shit.
Yeah.
Well, one of the ways that I used to handle it myself before I actually had the doctor on board with help me is I used to just fucking put Vaseline all over me because it would moisten my fucking skin.
Yeah,
you know,
works.
it traps it because it really kind of traps the moisture in there. And that was the problem. My skin was just getting too dry.
Well, Johnny,
and then then once you start to figure out what's going on with that shit, you might as well just start fucking wiping yourself down with kerosene.
Well, you're bang on. Because
dude, it's like people have no fucking clue. Oh yeah, let me put a little bit on my lips. Why don't you fucking just dip your finger in some fucking 1040 motor oil and put it on there? It all came from the same fucking spot.
Yeah, it's true. It's actually gasoline or oil in a jar. But here's the thing.
That's crazy.
It's basically you know what it is. It's the shit it's so fucking bad it won't even fucking work with the gasoline or the oil. It's like what's left behind.
But power your car, but it's good enough for your face. It's not good enough to power your car, Marty, but it's good enough for your face.
Well, I still got a gas car, but I was going to say, I thought we do the shit that people don't do, Johnny, right?
But I do the shit that people won't do that actually fucking helps me.
Oh my God. Well, listen. Have you ever reached for that jar of Vaseline wondering if it's your grooming game changer or a hidden danger? Because today I want to unpack some of the surprising grooming hacks, Johnny, that Vaseline, the household staple, that's quickly become every man's secret weapon. What is it, 1978? Oh yeah, look, Donald Trump's running the country. It is 1978. But
let me just real quick before you get in this, I love this, but for any of you that are using Vaseline, it's a fucking quick left turn, right turn, whatever you want to fucking call it, same thing, but it's actually fucking good for you. Start using coconut oil.
Well, so it's interesting, Johnny, because that is the alternative recommendation here. So
of course it is.
It is, right? So let's talk a little bit about Vaseline because there's potential upsides, but also potential downsides. And knowing these insider tips and the
potential downsides, or is this? Are you a fucking politician or something? Are you a lobbyist?
He is a politician.
Vaseline offers remarkable benefits. You apply it to the pulse points before spraying cologne. It smooths the unruly eyebrows. Jimmy, just so you can
Toxifies the fucking liver.
So Jimmy can get some life expectancy work from his lovely wife. He can start putting some Vaseline on his eyebrows, Jimmy. And Jimmy, you can hydrate your lips overnight for soft, smooth results. Marty, you can strengthen your nails and hydrate the cuticles. However, here's the shitty part about it. For acne-prone skin or eczema-prone skin, Vaseline's oculous nature can trap the oils, leading to breakouts, right? It doesn't moisturize. It actually locks in the existing moisture.
There's nothing about it that creates the moisture. It just locks whatever's in there. So if you want to use it properly, which you shouldn't fucking use it when you're not totally dry after a shower.
That's right. Good morning, Clody. Good morning, Adam. We're talking Vaseline, and no, we're not talking about Vaseline like you think we are. Boys, come on, get your mind out of the gutter. We're talking about the benefits to Vaseline.
And rubbing that stuff on your shaft gets even your bloodstream even fucking faster because that skin is even thinner. So for those of you that are fucking pounding off of this shit, get yourself a bottle of hand lotion or use coconut oil or something.
Yeah, Marty? Concerns about the environmental impact because, listen, guys.
You can't do anything, man.
Vaseline is petroleum-based, non-degradable product, making natural alternatives like Johnny recommended, shea butter and coconut oil preferable. So yes, Vaseline is still in the market. It's still out there. And truthfully, guys, Vaseline is in a lot of the skincare products that we have, but there are other chemicals in it that offset the benefits and negatives of it. But I thought it was fascinating. What I found fascinating, boys, when I found this story was that like it's still a prominent item on people's shelves today, John, considering what we know about it, considering your points that it's actually gasoline or oil in a jar, yet we're still all over it.
It's kind of like when you tell people that, fast food will kill them. They're like, oh no, that's not It's like there has to be a level of fucking belief in what you put on or in yourself has a lot to do with how you exist. If you can't process that, this doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Well, it's very true.
I want to add in, I actually don't use Vaseline. I use Albaline, and I'm Googling now. It says it's different than Vaseline.
Oh, what is it?
So I'm good.
I don't know anything about it.
Albaline is it says they share some similarities. It's a moisturizing.
As long as it's not, if it's petroleum based, you got to fucking throw that away, brother.
Yeah.
No, mineral oil.
Oh, good.
Oh, it says, yeah.
As long as the petroleum
beta carotene.
That's what that's what you're looking for, brother.
Hey, Clody, what do you guys use? And 3R, I see your comments there. Wife and I only use coconut oil. Good job, 3R. That's the choice. That's the right choice to make, which is sticking around with the coconut oil or shea butter, because as we know, the Vaseline is basically oil or gas in a jar that we love to put all over our face. John, again, I go back to how you and I were raised back in the 70s. I'm sure Clody and Holroyd, right? We're sitting in the back of the station wagon. We're smoking on airplanes. We're rubbing gasoline all over our face. It's just these things that we did back in the olden days that we still talk about today. You know what I mean? It's it makes me
imagine the motherfuckers their early days of basically figuring out how to take the gas and separate the gas and the oil, right? Then they're left with this fucking sludge. They're like, well, what are we going to do with this? It's going to cost us something to throw it away. Let's just fucking package it and sell it to these dumb fuckers, just like we're doing this stuff.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Okay, guys, let's do the accountability check. And we were supposed to have a guest here today, but I'm not sure where the guest is there, Jimmy. So we're going to keep it rolling. We're going to do the accountability check-in. And then, guys, I have a funny discussion coming up about butts. Marty, keep your opinions. We're talking about my favorite body part, which is butts and the purpose for them. Because, guys, we've discovered that maybe there was a different purpose for a butt. We're going to talk about it coming up in a couple of minutes. Jimmy, let's do the accountability check-in. The voiceless uncle this morning. Boys, not too bad. I didn't talk at all yesterday. Actually, I talked to Marty for about a minute and a half yesterday when he called me and he's like, oh, you can't talk? I'm like, no. I talked to Carter for a few minutes and I whispered all night with Lauren. All right. Excuse me while I get a little sip of coffee to wetten the old vocal cords. All right, guys. 3 questions to snap yourself out of autopilot. Yeah. There was a stretch when everything looked fine. I was showing up, doing the work, checking the boxes. But guys, it just felt off. Like I was in motion, but actually not in control. I just felt like I was reacting. I was coasting, executing without intention. Yeah, we know the word intention. That's why I asked myself three questions. What am I pretending not to know? Is there any logic in that? Where am I negotiating with my standards? Where's the logic in that? And who am I blaming instead of owning? Where's the logic in that? I like to ask questions around logic because when I ask logical questions to myself, I'm often reminded about how illogical I'm thinking. And these questions didn't give me new answers. No, they made me face the ones I'd been avoiding. Like where I'd lowered the bar, where I was letting things slide, like where I was waiting instead of leading. Guys, that can happen often. You kind of wait. Now you got to lead. And once I owned that, things started moving with force again. You might be carrying a lot right now, focused, busy, keeping it together. But if something feels even slightly off, out of balance, these questions will help you. They might help you. See what's been in your blind spot. You know, the one over there. Listen, I invite you to spend some time to answer them today. Not to fix everything. Don't try to fix everything in 1 second. But to get honest with yourself and move forward with the most important word in the world, intention. Make it intentional, guys. Get after it today and ask yourself 3 questions to snap yourself out of autopilot. It's the accountability check-in this morning on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. All right, let's keep it rolling. Thanks, Cody. Yes. I think today I'll still talk a little bit less here today. And Adam, you got to get yourself some Moroccan oil. And I think by tomorrow, I will be ready to rock and roll. A guy considered using WD-40 for lube and said no way because last time he used a 3-in-1 oil. Triplets, so no dice. Yeah, WD-40 is another great product on the market that just does everything. Marty, you familiar with WD-40, Marty?
Yeah, not for lubricant.
Marty?
Can you hear me?
Did you know of WD-40?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm aware. Yeah.
It's like the ultimate solving thing. You just fucking spray it on everything. It just solves every problem in the world.
Does it really? People use it like that much?
Oh yeah, I think you can solve a lot of things with WD-40. Yeah.
I would replace the word solve with lube.
So yeah. Solvent. All right, okay, listen, guys. But seriously, the strange story of how our rear ends evolved. Did you know, guys, this is going to blow you away. I pride myself, guys. I pride myself on finding stories like this that are just going to make your day. Clody, ears up. Holroyd, ears up. Did you know your anus might have started as a sperm release valve? Yeah. Get ready to dive into the bizarre, provocative, and downright ridiculous evolutionary secrets hiding behind your backside. Now, guys, think about this. Understanding these peculiar evolutionary developments not only broadens our scientific horizons, but also reshapes how we perceive our own anatomy, health, and even attractiveness. There's been some research, guys, recently that proposed that the anus originally evolved from a structure used for reproduction, specifically for releasing sperm, before being repurposed over millions of years into its current function, waste elimination. The study completely flips our traditional understanding of how complex biological structures can evolve and adapt over time. And guys, the human buttocks have evolved significantly in response to bipedal locomotion. As our ancestors transitioned from quadrupedal movement to walking upright, our gluteal muscles, and as we know, Johnny's got the deep cheeks, especially the gluteus maximus, developed dramatically, providing critical support, enhancing stability, and increasing endurance during long-distance travel. The adaptation has implications for human attraction, with pronounced buttocks often seen as indicators of health and fertility. Guys, what do you think of this, man? The ass started out as the sperm deliverer. Now it's the pronounced sexual object on many of our bodies. What do you guys think of this discussion this morning?
I learned something new today. And I don't believe you. No, I'm playing.
We got 3 or don't you try to rethink my anus. Yes. Well, I'm telling you guys, it started out as something that it isn't today. And now we use it as something that we enjoy looking at. And it's not, the body part was developed for something else that's not turning into today. So guys, listen, embracing curiosity about your own biology isn't just fascinating. It empowers us with knowledge. So stay curious, stay open. And next time you look at an ass, think of how it started out. It didn't start out as an ass to dump out of. It started out as an ass to make new human beings. Yeah.
I don't know. That's I suppose you could have a lot of debates on this topic.
Yeah, I got some stuff to say. I don't know if it's appropriate for the show.
Do say it. Do say it, Marty. Do say it. What would you like to comment on this morning, Mr. Christopher Martin?
It's just crazy because, like, you got people. We've done topics on people getting stuff stuck in their butts, and it's crazy to me how you can do so much damage. How do I say this without sounding crazy? It's crazy how you do so much damage.
It's all right. Say it crazy. It's all right.
How can you do so much damage now to where you have to have surgical procedures done to remove something? But that's what it was made for back in the day. And how does it change over time? I'm not understanding that.
Well, I imagine if you got to have surgical procedure to get something out, that whatever you stuck in there probably was good at going in and not at coming out. That's where the human body,
like an eel, right, Keith?
Well, I mean, an eel's just going to keep swimming north, man. He ain't willingly coming out of there. Are you fucking kidding me?
Keith, it was another one, right? It was an eel and it was something else, right?
Yeah, it was a metal object. She went for an MRI and she had a metal butt plug in her.
Yes. That's what it was. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I like the evolution of the ass. I like where the ass is today. I'm glad that it is what it is. I like the size of the asses in the world today. I like the shape of them today. And I like the evolution of the ass. And I'm glad that it's not just a reproductive sperm dumper like it was developed as. Guys. And Claudia's like, I've got the cast speechless. I do actually have the cast. I got Johnny Anderson. Jimmy, for the first time in our career on this show, we got Johnny not knowing what the hell to say.
You know, usually before Keith finished, Johnny's like this. Ready to talk.
I'll be fucking totally honest. I got a fucking text from my middle daughter right in the middle of that. And I was like, what the fuck is she doing up? That I just need to make sure there was no problem, because when you get a text from one of your kids that's up long before they're supposed to, the protective fucking dad goes boom. So I missed a chunk of what we were saying.
Understood.
But so just because give me a 10-second summary.
So hold on. No, I got to ask you first of all the more important question: is everything okay with family?
Oh, she was actually a really proud daddy moment. She's basically telling me she's up fucking doing her personal improvement.
Oh yeah.
Come on, baby.
What's up.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You mean at 3:00 in the morning?
Well, it's not fucking 3 right now, dude. It's 5:30.
Oh yeah. Because you've been up for a couple hours there, but good for her.
Yeah, she just texted me a few minutes ago when you were talking. That's what distracted me.
Oh yeah, there you go.
That's why I was short. That's why I was short on the words with the asshole thing, because I didn't hear the whole thing.
Yeah, Jimmy, go for it, brother. You go do your quick reset. I got the show for you, pal. Jimmy's got to step away for a second so we can go and check out his behind.
So give me a 30-second summary of this ass scenario.
Essentially, Johnny, the ass was originally developed to be a sperm release valve. But as
I heard that part. But as that was about where I got cut off. So
yeah, but as humans evolved from walking on all fours to more of from a quadruped to more of a walking upright in bipedal locomotion. Now, speaking of bipedal, all you got to do is watch all the robots being built today. You're seeing people learn how they walk more effectively. But when humans went to bipedal locomotion, apparently the human buttocks evolved, Johnny, from being a sperm delivery device to a supportive device for the legs to help us move our bodies forward. So originally humans, when we were walking on all fours, the anus was, used for reproductive. But then as we started moving to walking upward, the ass moved to more of a supportive sexual organ that we now admire, and it helps us move around as human beings.
So sperm delivery system, detail that. I mean, there's so many ways you could fucking process that one.
Yeah. So the anus was originally evolved from using it for releasing sperm. So essentially, I'm going to assume from this research that back in the olden days, millions of years ago, when humans were on their all fours,
I'm still lost.
They were having sex in the anus, and that's where the sperm was coming.
Just fucking backing up, butt to butt. Just fucking squirting shit of all fucking nature.
They were scissoring. They were butt scissoring.
Yeah,
I never.
Yeah, back your vagina up to my asshole so I can deliver some sperm.
Yeah, that's
cool. Reminds me of. Hey, Chloe, do you remember Johnny? Do you remember the movie Quest for Fire by any chance? It won an Academy.
Dude, fucking A, I remember that movie. Christ Almighty, I didn't have a fucking TV during that time, so all of a sudden I get a little fucking catch of this thing, dude. I mean, you got the lady bending over washing something in the fucking creek. And the fucking dude up on the top of the hill starts fucking making all sorts of crazy sounds and goes down there and starts fucking hitting her from the backside. This was so much better than the Sears catalog. I can't tell you.
Johnny and Marty, I'm 12 years old and my dad's like, let's go to a movie. He takes me to Quest for Fire. And I remember sitting there watching that movie with my old man, Marty. And it was actually softcore porn. There was no language. There's no human language. It was grunting.
It was just grunting and sounds, but it was pretty fucking crazy, the type of communication that went on without words.
And very graphic. So you can imagine, right, just sitting in the theater with my old man watching this grunt, groan. And it reminds me, yes, Adam, that was a great movie. Why? Because there was no English in it. Marty, we should get some clips from it to show it to you.
Dude, tell me you weren't in that fucking movie theater at 12 years old with a fucking boner the whole time. With all the fucking crazy sex scenes that were going on in that thing.
I probably did.
Dude, I'm telling you, the Sears catalog, it just didn't work for me after that. I've been exposed to too much.
I love the fact that you remember the movie, man. That is awesome.
I just remember the scene that I described. Is what I remember.
Yes, I remember it too. That's why I had to ask. Hey, Holroyd, do you remember that? Yes, and Ron Perlman was in it. That's right. He looks like a Cro-Magnon, Ron Perlman. That's exactly what he looks like. All right, let's get to the C Marty Fit Tip, and then when we come back, guys, I want to talk about the 4 pillars of leadership. Great topic. Yeah, we're going to talk about that when we get back before we welcome AJ Zeglen into the lab. So, Marty, let's do the Fit Tip, brother, and we'll come back and talk leadership.
Yes, sir. All right, really quickly. I don't think I talked about this with you all. I'm pretty sure I didn't. If I'm repeating myself, Keith, let me know. All right. Anyway, so last week I told y'all about the High Rocks race I had. Sorry, I'm talking about it again. Sorry. But I had my High Rocks race, which is pretty much like, indoor Spartan race type of thing, full body, a lot of athletic movements. And the week of the race, I had some crazy stuff happen that could have shut me down from the race, but I decided to push through anyway. Now, I'm not telling you to do what I did. This is a segment about mindset. So really quickly, first thing, I have a skin condition on my leg that flared up a couple of days before the race. So that was a problem. Then I was training my clients. I dropped a weight on my foot. My foot was literally bleeding instantly. That was another problem, right? And I've been preparing for this race for months. I did not want to skip. I spent my money on it. So what I did was I popped a Motrin, and I basically, I kept training, took it easy, right? And the reason I'm bringing this up is because when your mindset is on getting better physically, right, you're not going to let anything stop you. So if an injury or something occurs, do what you can until you can heal. Now, luckily, I didn't have anything that, required surgery or anything like that. But, do some upper body, right? Can you walk? Can you hit the elliptical? Can you stretch? So just because you can't do 100% of your workout doesn't mean you don't do anything. It doesn't mean you let yourself go. It doesn't mean you fall off. It doesn't mean you get the dad bod and you get the man boobs, right? That's not what happens. you can still work your body physically. And with all the information out there about working your body physically and how it affects your mental, how it affects other habits in your life, how it makes you better in other areas of your life, why would you want to sit down and not do anything because of a minor setback? So get your ass up, keep moving despite the adversity. And that's the fitness tip for today.
Hey, battle adversity. Walk through it, Marty? Walk through the adversity.
That's right. You got to keep it pushing, keep it moving.
You got to keep
brother, just a quick observation from the outside, and this is all good. You've been talking of that thing that you did. What was it called again?
Hyrox, HYROX.
Yeah. I mean, you've been talking about that a lot, and I don't mean that in a bad way. It's clearly it was something that affected you in a way where you keep bringing it up. I think you got to be diving deeper into that. Sometimes you experience something that kind of just lives in that fucking front of your brain that won't go away. It's some sort of a signal of calling, man. I think you should dive into that and see what happens with it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm working on a solo race in the wintertime. So,
John, that's a really good observation because you're right. I love that you brought that up because Marty has talked about it a lot, even in a subliminal way, right? Or he weaves it in here.
It just keeps it 100%. And that's when that thing is kind of, and I don't mean stuck in a bad way.
No.
When something's stuck in there and it keeps fucking resurfacing, there's something there. You got to investigate that shit.
That's what a great piece of friendly advice, Marty, because he's right. Because then now that I hear him say it, clearly.
What I love about it, dude, is it's fucking something that clearly struck you. It's in the fucking industry where you make your money.
Yes.
Something's telling me that you could find a way to do this more, monetize some other variation of what you do. I mean, when it comes down to it, let's be fucking honest. When you get fucking paid for something you can't stop talking about, life has changed.
Yeah. And clearly you're good at it, Marty, right? So you competed quite well at it, and you know how to get through the adversity of shit. So that's awesome, man. That's a really good comment.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
All right, well, listen, I got a confession, guys. I want to talk a deep dive. Our deep dive topic today was
I do have to roll, but I do want to hear this real quick.
All right.
Go ahead, Keith.
Yeah. So I got a confession, guys. Planning almost ruined my leadership until I learned this. I want to share something close to my heart as a planning-driven leader. I believe myself as a visionary. I can see way ahead, far ahead, and then my job is to take us there. But the journey of leadership through the 4 pillars of leadership. Let's get into the 4 pillars. First up is vision. As planning-type leaders, we naturally excel at seeing the big picture, crafting those long-term strategies that guide our organization forward. And vision, guys, isn't just about dreaming big. No, it's about setting clear, actionable goals that resonate deeply with the entire team. I use this when I built ICUC, and I'm using this as we build the lab. The second pillar is prioritization. And guys, one thing I've learned from my entrepreneurial journey is the importance of effectively managing priorities to avoid last-minute chaos. I say this often. If you're reacting, you've already lost. Nobody will ever complain if you're being too proactive. Hey, Chris, why do you keep calling me to follow up? Hey, Chris, why do you keep calling me to take care of me? Hey, John, why are you being such good at customer service? No, nobody's ever going to call you because you're being too honest. People are going to call you going, why the fuck haven't you called me? When we clearly define roles, responsibilities, and deadlines, everyone can operate with confidence and clarity. It's all about the careful resource allocation, whether it's time, budget, or talent to achieve the best possible outcomes. And then the third pillar, guys, was flexibility. And this one, perhaps the most challenging for planning-driven leaders like myself. And it's not from being too rigid. It's actually perhaps the opposite. Maybe it's being too flexible because it's tempting to stick rigidly to a plan. But true leadership, guys, knows when to adapt. No, we can't go up the mountain this way, guys. We got to go this way. So balancing structure, we talk often on this show about structure, systems and structure, but balancing structure with flexibility allows us to remain agile. I'm a big fan of being agile, encouraging innovation and creativity while still progressing towards our strategic goals. I believe agility is one of the magic words or skills of a leader when you can spot something and make a strategic move before the guy who hasn't. And that's why I'm a big fan of the snooze button. Guys who hit the snooze button aren't typically agile. They're structured. When you're agile, you're getting up, you're getting after it. And then guys, finally, we have team alignment. Effective team planning isn't just beneficial. It's actually transformative. It fosters the clear communication, ensures everyone's aligned with organizational goals, and it instills accountability and ownership. When people feel connected to a clear vision and understand their role in achieving it, the motivation and the engagement soar. So guys, embracing these 4 pillars, vision, prioritization, flexibility, and team alignment has profoundly impacted my approach to leadership. Together, they created a balanced framework that empowers us as planning-driven leaders to navigate complexities confidently, fostering both immediate success and sustainable long-term growth. And I wanted to throw it out there today, guys, because not everybody is a planning type leader. Somebody might be a team alignment leader. Somebody might be a flexible leader. Somebody might be a prioritization leader. I really wanted to focus on today was the planning, the vision leader, the person who sets the stage for the entire team. John, starting with you, brother, you've ran a number of businesses in your life. You had a gym for a long time. Talk about this idea of the 4 pillars of leadership and how you see vision in growing.
Well, I think, you know me, I like to strip shit down.
Yeah.
Right. And I think, especially when we're talking about how to make this applicable to people. And this is not something new, what I'm going to say, but I think that it needs to be really, you have to, when you lead yourself in a way where other people don't lead themselves, you're going to fucking become a leader, whether you like it or not. Now, whether you run from the opportunity or you lean into it is kind of up to you. And we've seen it plenty of times. There are plenty of people who, have great leadership skills, but for whatever reason, it's just not what they're interested in, and then there are people who are not such great leaders, but they're very interested in it. But if you strip it all away, the fucking best leaders, and you can go this in any type of leader, any venue of life, is that these fucking people led themselves in a way that other people say couldn't, wouldn't, weren't. And that's what basically put them in the position to where they could lead. Now, all of a sudden, you've got these, they're talking about these 4 pillars.
Yes.
Now there's these elements that actually you're going to, the first step is fucking lead yourself.
Yes. Yes. Marty, what kind of leader would you say you are out of those 4? Are you a planning leader, visionary leader? What kind of team alignment leader? Where would you say you would where would you specialize? And I know you got a rock and roll, Marty. So where would you find yourself because you're clearly a leader. Where would you put yourself in those slots?
Vision for sure.
Yeah.
I'm more of a, once we see the vision, let's get there. I don't really care how we get there, right? I want my people to be comfortable. Not comfortable. Let me change that word.
Yeah.
I want my people to do what works for them.
Yes.
Right. So as long as we get there, that's all that matters. I'm definitely a vision guy.
Yes.
Even now as a general manager, right? They have a process that they like. Not that I'm like a rebel or anything.
Yes.
But I tell my people, like, look, if this shit don't work for you, if this isn't going to get you to sale or if this isn't going to be efficient for you, do what works for you,
Yes. Yeah. Well, we like to bring everything back into the gym on our conversations. That's why I'm a big fan of agility and an agile leader, being able to make changes, right? Because Marty, John, when you're training me in the gym and something's not working for me, you guys are going to make the change.
Absolutely.
You're not going to say, you got to do it this way. You got to do it this way. No, well, Keith, guys, I'm not achieving my goals. A great leader is going to assess the situation and not be afraid to be agile and make a change, call an audible at the line of scrimmage per se, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Well, because the currency is moving the needle forward.
Yes.
Not proving that what you said is going to fucking work.
Yes.
I'm fucking
Ego.
happy to be fucking wrong if I'm getting what I want.
Yes.
When like with my team, and I ask questions, because it's they bring me information, and I'll say, hey, based on what I'm hearing here, this is what I think is going on, but I need you guys to tell me, am I missing something?
Yes.
No, you're on point. Okay, I'm moving the right direction. Now let's take and turbocharge this. But going to what you're saying, Keith, like when you asked Marty what type of leader he was, and love your answer, Mark. I think when you fucking lead yourself and you're doing great things, all that shit is in there.
Yes.
The question is, can you take what you do for yourself and apply it to others and be that leader that will, because, you want to be the leader who inspires people to do their best, not the leader who's fucking beating people up, trying to get them to take the fucking first step.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I think a good leader has the qualities of all four.
I got to roll, Keith.
Marty, get after it, brother.
Yeah, I'm sorry, y'all. Sorry.
No, you go.
Go get it, baby. Go get it.
Yes, sir. I'll see y'all tomorrow, man.
Yeah, you bet.
Yes, sir.
I was having this conversation with Carter, Johnny. You saw the video of him doing the interview there, and Carter, and I've often talked to Carter about, don't try to be a leader like me. And I don't mean that it's all about your dad. Be your own leader. Like, figure out how you're going to lead yourself. And he leads through quiet mentorship, quiet leadership. He's not as loud and boisterous as his old man, but he leads by example. I watch him. He takes care of himself first. And I see how his buddies and his friends and his teammates, he leads by example, right? So he sets the vision. He gets that team alignment. He's flexible, but he has all the four qualities. But to your point, Johnny, he's taking care of his own mirror first. And I think, okay, I'm going to set the stage for the example, and then who wants to follow me?
Well, yeah, it's kind of like when someone is focusing on losing weight, right? If they're too focused on losing weight, what they're not focused on is the shit that it takes to lose the weight.
Yes.
And so, when it comes down to it, I think that, like in his case, he's focusing on him.
Yes.
And these tarps we're talking about, they're just going to start showing up, because these are the elements that it takes to lead him in a way. I mean, once other people start to follow, it just starts to happen organically.
Yes.
Right. Once that happens, you got a fucking grip on some of those pillars. Now, of course, your leadership is, leadership is one of those things, man, where it fucking changes by the moment, by the day, by the situation. And that's the flexible part you're talking about. It's
funny because I hear what you're saying there, but leadership for me is a natural thing, like it is for yourself. I don't know if it changes for me, because to me, leadership is doing the same thing every single day.
No, that's okay. So let me go a little more detailed. The changing part is how it applies to the people around you.
Yes. Learning,
because like I actually had a guy a couple of years ago.
Yes.
And our team was a little smaller, and everybody was on the team was a fucking killer. Like, just go. We fucking go.
Yeah.
Right? And there was no backing down. And then we got this guy on board. He was fresh out of college, and he came in. When I was talking to him early, he was talking the language, 100%, talking high performers, this, that. And I'm like, fuck, this guy's perfect. And he hasn't been jaded yet because he's coming fresh out of college. Well, once we fucking put him into position, obviously he went from one setting to the next, and he just started to fucking melt. Well, at that point, I think I know who I'm dealing with because of his language, but that was not who he was. He just liked to talk that stuff. So I quickly realized that I was beating him into submission when I really needed to fucking kind of build him up. And once I caught a clue on that, I was like, oh fuck, it's like it's like a stubborn mule. You can sit there and beat his ass to get him to go in the trailer, and he'll sit there and take those licks, get more stubborn. But you put a carrot out in front of him, he'll walk in the trailer.
Yes. Yeah. I think one of the potential downsides of leadership with flexibility is sometimes it's easy as a leader to chase a shiny object, and it's easy as a leader to take your team in a direction down a path where you're like, oh shit, we've been using the mountain analogy. Oh man, I took the wrong turn because I got excited by the object over there. And now we're a few days behind because we made the wrong turn. Now, there's two ways to look at that. You had the courage to make the decision.
Yep.
And there's a lot of value in that. The flip side to that is that the flexibility, the ADHD, the looking over there can also be a detriment to success, because you're always thinking the next avenue up the mountain, where often it's the predictable, repeated, what's worked before.
Oh yeah. I'm so with you there, bro. I'm not talking about abandoning the shit that you got there 100%. I'm just talking about the plasticity of how it applies to other people.
Yes.
You know what I mean? For 100%. I mean, another thing that's been, as my leadership skills have gotten better, and I've learned how to lead more by like I don't make as many assumptions about people. I feel how
Okay.
they talk is only part of the equation. It's how they talk and how they perform line up. I'll look at how they perform as the primary currency, right? And when I do that, then I start getting people like now on my team. I mean, pretty much, and it's not. I mean, of course, I try to get this to happen, but I can't force it. When I say I try to get it to happen, it's because I'm trying to do better leading. But what I look for is, at some capacity, my team to constantly be reinforcing that I'm leading them in a way that is bettering them.
Is there anything you don't like about leadership, Johnny?
You know, I think there's a little bit of a, I guess you would say, how would I say, there's I can use your word once here, right? And I don't use this often. I use this only to make a point. Like if I'm going to use fuck, right? So the phrase is, even the shit you love, you're going to hate sometimes. Right.
Okay. Yeah.
And so sometimes as a leader, especially if you've really, especially if you've led yourself and like leading myself to leadership is how it happened, point blank. When I was a little guy, I didn't expect I was going to end up where I ended up. But the point is that you don't get to fucking take breaks. A leader doesn't, and so there's that. And to a certain extent, I love the fact that it's like when you're a leader, it makes it that much easier to continue to do the shit that most people won't do. But the flip side is, sometimes in that fucking quiet moment when nobody's looking, you're like, holy Christ, this is, I've got a fucking pace set for myself that is a motherfucker. I've got to I chose this pace. I got to keep it up. So fucking stop feeling sorry for yourself and keep going.
Yes.
Because that's what they expect.
Yes.
So why is that difficult? Because in those fucking moments when that brain tells us that we don't think that we can't do it and we're dumb enough to believe that shit, so
it's true.
That's 100%.
Because
one of the things like with this show that I loved when I came on board with you guys was that it's 5 a.m. every fucking day. And I'm good at every day.
Yes.
Right? But it's something that is like, I haven't had something, it goes all the way back to college. I haven't had a time that I had to be somewhere on any regular basis, unless it was something that I put on myself. So to a certain extent, for me to have something to show up to this and have it be a commitment I made, it almost fucking made the shit a little bit easier, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm showing up here to serve the show. Right. And so now I'm not letting down the show.
Yes.
As to where, when you're in a leadership position, you're not letting down your team. Right. Yes. And so it's I guess to a certain extent, a lot of that's why sometimes only great leaders stay great leaders.
I love the responsibility of being a leader. I thoroughly enjoy it. I thoroughly embrace it. I love, I love being the guy who's going to take the bullet. And I also don't mind being the guy who will lift the trophy if that's what I have to do. But I thoroughly enjoy setting the stage. I thoroughly enjoy going first. I thoroughly enjoy that whole experience. So we're talking leadership today with Keith and Johnny. We got AJ in the green room. Johnny, let's get to a lifestyle tip. Let's bring Zeglen in to keep the conversation going. Okay, bro, let's do it.
Let's go, baby. All right, check this out. I'm not trying to offend anybody here, but if you still believe that working on yourself is selfish, you have got a poor mindset. What I mean by that? Because the rich mindset, the wealthy mindset, they understand that investing in themselves is right at the top of the totem pole. Because the wealthy understand that when you get better, everything around you gets better. As to where the poor mindset, the poor mentality is, it's selfish. I can't, commit that kind of time for this, that, and the other. When in actuality, you're just fucking wasting all that time. You're wasting that fucking time scrolling. You're wasting that fucking time doing the dumb shit that's not actually helping you move forward. If you get rid of your distractions, you take that time and you invest it in yourself, your life will change. Is it easy? No. I would say the hardest part is to recognize the mindset you're in and become one with the fact that, oh, Jesus, I need to make a change, and register that, hell, I'm going to have to restructure some shit here because I don't want to live in that scarcity mindset. I don't want to live in that poor mindset. I want to live in that wealthy, abundant mindset where my life continues to get better. And if that's what you want to do, start with investing in yourself first. And this whole thing will start to take shape, kind of whether you fucking like it or not. So again, not trying to offend anybody, just fucking laying it out there. Rock and roll.
Fence taking John Anderson, just laying it out there. Love it. Let's talk tip every day here. Monday to Friday, Keith and John. Mornings and live with Keith and friends. What's going on, Zeglen?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey, Jay, what's up, brother?
How are you today, pal?
Oh, not much. Just coming to you from home today. Actually, a little bit under the weather here. So, but
Yeah, I noticed that.
Probably hear it in my voice. But yeah, I don't like to miss what you guys were just talking about. So I was like, I still want to jump on and see you guys and chat. And
Let's do that. So I did have a topic for today's discussion, but I might put it aside today and stay on leadership. Because we were having a great chat about leadership.
Yeah, AJ is going to be a great person to bring in this talk.
Yeah,
sure.
and I know that we were talking about a little bit, AJ, when you were in the green room. I was talking about how leadership has shaped me and the values of a leader and how I mastered the 4 pillars of leadership. And AJ, we talked about them. Vision. We talked about prioritization. We talked about flexibility, and we talked about team alignment. AJ, you've worked with a ton of great leaders in all of your professions, athletes, business leaders, both as a trainer, as a coach, but also now as a psychotherapist. When you hear leadership, AJ, what out of those 4, what stands out most for you as a good quality of a leader?
oh, geez, that's a good question. Yeah, that's a great question. I would say, so I'll start here. I know this maybe wasn't in one of the pillars that you just mentioned, but the one that always sticks with me when I think about leadership. John has a version of this of being the leader. Is you got to be the first to pull your pants down, or however he says it. But the one that I kind of really attached myself to when I was learning how to be a leader through sport and then through life, and then as a man with a family, was to lead from the front, right? And I know it's a really simple thing, but it gave me a great visual. Gave me a great visual of what leadership should be. So I just, whatever situation I was in, I'd just be like, okay, am I the person at the front of the line? Am I the guy at the front of my team? Am I the guy in front of my family, willing to take the first bullet, willing to be the first one to take the first step, willing to, right? And then lead from the front. Because what we've talked about before is people are more likely to believe what you show them rather than just your words alone, right? So you have to show people. And how are you going to show people from the back?
Oh, that's interesting. How are you going to show people from the back? That's
they can't see you back there.
No, it's such an interesting, simple question, but I've never thought about it that way.
Right.
Because you can't lead from the back.
No, yeah. I don't think you can effectively. I think when you're leading from the back, you're probably leading from places of where there might be fear involved, where there might be, a power dynamic involved that you're taking advantage of, where there might be, leadership done through a lot of negative avenues. Where I think if you're leading from the front, you have the ability to make that leadership positive and come at it from a positive angle and bring all these positive attributes to the situation and really, teach people, inspire people, and motivate people in a really positive way to want to follow the lead and want to take over the lead and want to really for them to really hold their share of the responsibility, right, in a meaningful way, and they will want to do that.
Here's a question for you, AJ. I'm quite fascinated by it. Have you had anybody come through your office or through your path that has said, man, everything I'm trying, people just aren't listening to me. I'm trying to lead, but it's just not working. What am I doing wrong? Why don't people like what I'm having to say? Have you had those kind of conversations, AJ, with a man or a woman or somebody come through your world, which has been like, man, I'm just struggling. People just aren't paying attention to me. I feel like I'm a loser. I'm not. I thought I was a leader, AJ. I thought I was good at setting a vision. I thought I was good at doing all these things, but yet nobody pays attention to me. Does that come up in the world?
So that's happened a lot in my world just because I work with a lot of athletes. And there's two situations where it arises a lot in sports. One is where maybe a player has been given a letter by coach or management. So they've been given a C or an A on their jersey by coach or management. And then they feel like, they're not quite sure, like that hasn't instantly translated over into them being a leader in the room. Right. And as we probably have seen many examples of that in sport. And then the other is where maybe someone really wanted to get a C or A on their jersey and didn't from coach or management, and now are struggling to understand how they can still lead because they still view themselves as a leader and want to be a leader, but they feel this contradiction has been brought up because they feel like, well, can I be the guy saying that in the room because I don't have the C on my jersey, right? Yes. And so those are the two situations that I come up with the most in sport, is working with athletes. So either someone getting a letter and from a coach or an athlete, maybe because they're a very high talent player, high skill player, but they're not quite sure how to lead, or someone who wants to lead and thinks they're a good leader, but they didn't get the backing from coach or management. They didn't get a letter and they want to know how they can still do it, even though they don't have a letter on their jersey.
I think that would translate the same way to a boardroom where I have an executive team and I promote Johnny and I don't promote you. And you're like, what the fuck? I thought I was going to get promoted. Now John's my VP. John's part of the inner circle. And you're sitting in the boardroom going, yeah, but I'm a leader. I'm a leader. I'm a leader. My response to you would be this if we were working together. Yeah. AJ, I think you're a leader, but you're not ready yet. Get after it. Keep showing up. Keep showing up. Keep doing what you're doing. Right. Yeah. And I would encourage you to keep doing what you're doing because I think, maybe I'm going to contradict myself. I think you can lead from the back with the right people around you that could empower you to help you get to the front. So again, in our scenario, I promoted Johnny at work. John's now my new leader. He's my VP. You're kind of going, well, fuck, I thought I was going to get the promotion. You come to my office. I'm saying, Zeglen, I want you to keep leading, man. Keep leading from the back. You got my full support. You got Johnny's support. Yeah, but Keith, all I feel is I got barriers in front of me. No. Keep a good leader sees the barriers, observes how he's going to get around them, and continues to work his way to achieving the leadership goals he's trying to achieve. Do you follow what I'm saying, AJ?
Totally, yeah. And what I would say is that even in that situation, you're empowering me to still keep doing what I'm doing and still lead by example and still do those things. So I'm still at the front, even though I don't got the title. I'm still at the front. You know what I mean? And you're at the front. You've put me at the front with you. John's at the front. Maybe he's been given the title to be there, and he's there. But ultimately, what determines if you're going to be at the front or not is not your title; it's your actions, right? So if you still
100%.
Bingo, your attitude, actions, and attitude.
Right.
I got literally a story about this. It was my middle daughter. It's cheer. They're a national championship team.
Yeah.
She was a big part of the team she was a sophomore varsity girl, which on that team was really tough. She was one of two that was like that. Then junior year, basically they're picking the team captains, and she thought she was going to get picked as a team captain, and ended up they ended up picking two seniors. And she came to me and said, "Hey, what's the scoop?" And I said, "Kiddo, listen." I said, you can, if you want to go and ask your coach, you can. You may not get a direct answer, but she'll give you some sort of a signal. I said, this is a deal. She knows that she doesn't have to put the captain's hat on you, and she's got an extra leader. She knows that you're going to lead no matter what your title is. You just keep doing what you're doing. And so literally and I did actually did the strength and conditioning for their team. So I was like backstage when they were getting ready to go out in these, these really big fucking competitions, like they used to compete in the Orleans casino in Vegas, big fucking setting. Anyway, so they're all at the top of the fucking steps getting ready to run out, and she's at the top, giving them the pep talk, even though there's no title. But what I told her was, I said, look, go ask Patty. That was her coach. I said, or however you want to do it, and just ask her if you still want her to do what you're doing. And basically, because she was a little bit in question, I'm not supposed to do what I'm supposed to do. And I said, yeah, I do what you're supposed to do. But if you need confirmation, go ask her. And I guess what happened was she kind of somehow roundabout asked her coach, and her coach, like, had glasses on, like fucking like this. And like her coach looked, it didn't say a fucking word, just tipped her head down, looked over her glasses like, are you really fucking asking me this question?
Yeah.
So when it comes down to it, titles are great, but a leader is going to rise to the top no matter what, title or not.
Mm-hmm. I didn't expect this conversation to get as deep as it is, and I'm really enjoying it. But I got to tell you, and AJ, I'm wondering if you've experienced this with Boston, since Johnny brought up his daughter, and I've talked with Carter. It fascinates me as we get older in life, when you reflect how much peer pressure affects our ability and our want to lead, right? So I think about daughter, right? I think about Carter. He wants to lead, but he's like, oh, but am I going to step on somebody's toes, or should I text the coach, or should I do that? Yet deep down, he's like, I want to do it. I want to do it. I'm sure Boston's the same way. But yet, as we're growing up as young men, that peer pressure gets in the way, and it pushes us back, doesn't it? And you almost want to encourage our kids, move that peer pressure away as much as you can, so you can lead.
Well, what I did with my daughter in that situation, of course, I just took some of my own fucking pages out of my own book.
Yes.
Because of course that what you just described is so real for them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I just said, look, kiddo, if you're doing the shit that they're not doing, you just keep going. If you find yourself that people are doing more or better than you, okay, maybe it's time to reconsider what's going on. But if you're always the one, you're first to get there, you're last to lead, you're the one that's pushing it, when you're the one that's climbing up off the ground first, like in the conditioning workouts I would give them, brutal, but she would always be the first one to her feet. Well, as long as you're the first one to your feet, you just fucking keep doing what you're doing. You're not stepping on anybody's toes. And if you feel that way, you're doing it in a regards that's basically helping them, because you are leading by example. Sometimes you might step on someone's toes to get to your feet first, but you're not doing it intentionally. You're just getting your feet first to lead by example.
Yeah. AJ, close the conversation off. Peer pressure, leadership, Boston, our kids. What are some closing comments on this, brother?
Yeah, I would say just to keep going with exactly what John was just sharing there at the end, is just ultimately, what makes a great leader is you have great trust, right?
Yes.
You trust. And so how do we trust? We end up ultimately trusting people through their actions, right?
Yes.
And so, if I'm sitting there telling you guys,
So good.
I'm the leader. I'm a leader. It's important to me to be a leader, but I'm always the last guy to my feet. Using John's example, after a while, you guys are going to start to question, hey, how important is it to AJ? He's always the absolute last guy to his feet. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yes. So no matter what I'm saying, if I'm like John's daughter and I'm the first to my feet, people start noticing, and they're like, hey, I can trust this person. They are showing me through their actions that they are trustworthy, and that, I can follow them, that they want to lead, that they want that responsibility, right, of being first to their feet. Or
we've seen, and not very often, but we've seen fucking leaders that literally physically can't speak.
Yes.
But it doesn't fucking matter.
No. Look at Stephen Hawking. The guy can't speak anything, yet he leads. Yeah. He leads a lot.
Good. I mean, in a leadership situation, what you say is the fucking bottom of the totem pole.
Yeah. That's so true, man. And again, I go back to what we believe here in this show. Get up, get your day started, get your non-negotiables done, lead your team, lead the conversation. Those that start, set. Think about that. Those who start, set. If you haven't started it, you're not setting it. AJ Zeglen, Dude, I'm really glad you showed up this morning. Did you miss this? You missed the start of the show, man. We talked Vaseline. We talked the evolution of butts from sperm to how we love our asses now. And then AJ, we also talked about Quest for Fire. Remember that movie?
Yeah.
Quest for Fire. It's funny. Quest for Fire, Vaseline, and squirting sperm from your asshole all kind of fit together in a weird way.
That sounds like a party.
That was this morning.
I honestly don't know if it's a party I'd want to attend, but it would definitely be an interesting one.
Hey man, we got to lead from the front, right? We got to be the first ones at that party.
Well, fuck if the leader is the one squirting that fucking sperm out of his ass, I want to be the leader of that fucking party. I don't want to be behind when that shit starts fucking coming out.
That's it. Boys, I have some, I just want to turn our attention from some humor to some heavy comments here. We got Jack Dugan joining us in the comments here. Good morning, Jack. Had to rush my wife to the ER at 10 last night. She's still here. Life just keeps kicking my ass. Well, listen, Jack, on behalf of myself, AJ, and Johnny, got all of our thoughts for your wife and yourself, and hopefully that things are going to be okay. You keep us posted, brother. You keep us posted.
You know, Jack, real quick, in those situations where I try to remind myself, because sometimes you just don't understand why is this happening. I just remind myself it's just a matter of time before I'm going to be able to look back and all these dots will connect. I don't understand it now, but it's okay. Just keep moving forward, because looking back, that time will come and it'll all make sense. So just keep moving forward, brother. We're with you.
Great advice. Zeglen, are you staying home today? Going to get some rest? Actually, Uncle Keith and Uncle Johnny are telling you to go to bed today.
Yeah, man, I am planning on actually going back to bed. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I didn't get a great sleep last night, so
sleep is fucking like magic.
Oh, it is. Yeah,
it is.
I plan on taking a nap and waking up and feeling much better. So that's about as far as I've planned my day today. So
beautiful.
far.
Well, listen, we're in time on behalf of Mornings Nation and Business Athlete Nation. We're appreciative of you joining us today for a great discussion on leadership. You are a pure leader at heart, Mr. Zeglen. You'll get some rest today, brother. We'll see you on Thursday. John and I are going to reset. We got a guest coming up here in a few moments, but before we do that, I'm going to talk some Substack stuff, and then we're going to rock roll with Jeff Desmo. AJ, have a good one, okay, brother?
Thanks, you, AJ.
Guys. Thanks, guys.
All right. AJ's out of here. You're resetting the second hour of Mornings Live with Keith and Friends. Keith's got 95% of his voice back. Hey, Johnny, why don't we do this? Why don't you go take a quick break? Go take care of yourself. I'm going to reset the conversation around Substack. I got a little monologue I got on Substack here before we bring in Jeff. And we're going to introduce you to Jeff myself. We're going to have a conversation with Jeff Desmo coming up in a few minutes. All right, brother?
Nice. And just get me out of here by 25.
Sounds good, brother. Okay, you go take a quick break. I'm going to set this thing up with a Substack conversation. All right, Jimmy. We got Mornings at 11 with Keith Billis every single day, Monday to Friday, even without no voice. Yeah, I'm up. Jeff, I'm operating at 95% right now. If you were here yesterday, I would have been talking like this. Yeah, I was out on weekends screaming at my boys' hockey game. So listen, 8 o'clock Eastern time, LinkedIn, YouTube, and X, the only morning show for men to get their ass out of bed and not hit the snooze button. Jeff, if you hit the snooze button, you're 9 minutes behind. Yeah, true story. If you do it all year, you're 2.5 days behind the guy who didn't. So don't hit the snooze button, Jeff. And in my experience, guys often hit it twice. So now you're 20 minutes behind that guy over there. You're actually fucking a week behind. So nobody should ever say they don't have time to do anything. So hey, we're coming to the second hour of the lab here. Again, you guys heard the first hour. We talked about butts. We talked about leadership. We talked about Vaseline. Yeah, all these great topics that men wonder about. True story. Yeah, exactly. All right, Jimmy, let's get to the discussion here on Substack. And I have a topic I'm throwing on the table. And this is a good one. It's especially timely. No coincidence at all. No coincidence at all that we have a guy here from the marketing world, the social media world. And here's how it starts. Why I am using Substack and what I'm using it for. So guys, I've been getting a lot of questions lately about why I've jumped into the Substack world and how exactly I'm using it. Today, I want to take a deep dive into why behind this move and share exactly what I'm doing with this incredible platform. And no, this is not a sales pitch for the platform. I don't have investments. I'm not friends with Hamish and the guys that are running the platform. I just think it's a great platform for doing some really cool stuff for the future. But here's the thing. I've spent years playing the social media game. Anybody who's been around me knows I started a social media company, sold it for a few bucks along the way. I've been around social before you guys were even probably born. I was around social when it was called user-generated content. I was around social before YouTube was owned by Google. Yeah, true story. I was around social when all we were doing was chasing followers and battling algorithms and constantly feeling like we're just shouting into the void. And honestly, it got exhausting. And I realized that I was craving something deeper, more meaningful, and more connected, and something that I could actually own. That's when I saw Substack a couple years ago. Substack gave me a fresh start. And instead of chasing those vanity metrics, because we know why I left the old social media world 8 years ago and became a ghost, I now can focus on these authentic conversations and genuine connections with people that I own, their addresses that I own, not just a follower on somebody else's platform. And it's where creators can come and get inside the lab and learn how I'm building the largest men's conversation platform, Anchored in the Morning. So our Substack experience is a paid companion experience to this morning show. Yeah. So we get the morning show, which is the free iceberg to our experience. Then we're using Substack to monetize the back end about how we're doing this. Substack, guys, is not just another blogging site. No, it is a full media publishing platform. Yes, podcasts, video, text, newsletters, endless opportunities, and a following feed that's not driven by an algorithm, actually fed by people who like your stuff. Plus a built-in network effect through notes, a Twitter-like feature that gives me a direct space to share content, engage instantly, and monetize my work. Yeah. So what exactly am I using it for? Authentic conversations, real-time learnings, building true community, direct engagement, and ownership. Here's the key point, and ownership. When somebody likes your LinkedIn stuff, when somebody likes your Instagram stuff, when somebody likes your TikTok stuff, they're liking stuff on your platform. When I convinced Jeff to subscribe to my Substack, I'm getting Jeff's email address. I now have a direct connection with Jeff. So if somebody decides to do something with the platform, I still have a connection with Jeff. So am I quitting the rest of the platforms altogether? No, but my priorities are shifting. I now primarily use a platform like LinkedIn as my home. And then I'm using Substack for more meaningful, more deeper conversations. Here's the question for you. Are you truly connecting with your audience, or are you just chasing vanity metrics? Are you ready to step into the deeper conversation and build genuine relationships? Because I would invite you to look at the platform that's out there like Substack, because the shift is happening, guys. The shift is actually happening. We're moving away from vanity. We're moving towards meaningful engagement. And man, I got to tell you, it's refreshing, it's transformative, and it's real. Let's dive deeper, guys. I will invite you to go check out our Substack at inside.bappel.ai. That's where you'll find our content. That's where you'll find the conversations we're having over on the Substack platform. All right, Jimmy, it looks like it's that time to bring in this young man who's patiently waiting for us in the green room. And Jimmy, before we do that, Johnny, likes are cheap, but culture wins. Let's bring in a guest who has over 2 decades in the world of advertising, recently took a bold step to shake things up by launching his own agency, Tango. He's on a mission, Johnny, to help brands move beyond just being liked. He wants them to be genuinely interesting with a deep passion for authentic conversations and organic social. This dude believes social media isn't just a space for likes. It's a powerful platform to create real connections and drive business growth. John Anderson of Mornings in the Lab Nation, Business Athlete Nation. Please welcome the founder of Tango, Jeff Desmo. Jimmy, let's bring him on, brother.
What's up?
Jeff, how are you, brother?
Hey, good morning.
What's up, Jeff?
It's all good. I mean,
Oh, we got you muted here on the vertical, Jeff. We'll get you unmuted on the vertical, though, pal.
Oh, right. Let me change. All right. Is that all good?
We're good there, brother. How are you, pal? You speak 3 languages and you got yourself working on the English one right now. How are you, pal?
I'm doing great. Yeah. Fun fact, I do not know how to do my job in my native language. I've never actually walked in France, right? That's where I grew up, but never actually walked there. So I don't know, even to talk about social networks, social media in French, which is kind of crazy.
That's fascinating to me. So Johnny, Jeff speaks 3 languages, but he works exclusively in English. Jeff, what funny misunderstandings or awkward moments have you experienced in advertising? And here's an obvious one, just due to language barriers itself.
Yeah, I don't think it's language barrier, it's culture, right? So I moved to the US 8 years ago.
Yeah.
The first 6 months were like, what is happening? I don't know these brands they're talking about. I don't know what the hell these people are talking about. There's a bit of a language thing, British English, that's what I learned. American English, a bit different. But it's
a lot of slang in American English, huh?
I mean, I think the better one is in American English, let's be honest, you know.
Interesting. Okay.
Oh.
But there's some funny conversations about, you know, things that mean something normal in British English and is almost like an insult or something sexual in American English. So there's, you know, you can have some interesting conversations.
Yeah. So Jeff, I knocked on your door and invited you to the show because I love the content you're producing on LinkedIn. I'm fascinated by your company Tango. But what really got me was the message that you're perpetuating and cultivating out in the market is we're moving away from likes. We're moving more to engagement. We're moving more to a world of engaging community, engaging conversations. Jeff, talk about how social media, and Johnny, great, because I know yesterday you were doing a lot of your own research and learning yesterday. The timing of having Jeff here today is really great. Jeff, talk about what you're seeing is the future of social and how it's changing as you look towards, I don't know, the next 24, 36 months. As you look back at the last 36 months, how is it changing, Jeff?
I think the main big change is, you know, moving from this follower graph. So like, you know, like you said before, it was all about getting more followers.
Yes.
Your message was only heard by people that followed you.
Yes.
So the whole game was, I need more people. I need thousands and thousands of followers.
Yes.
The whole influence industry was built around, hey, how many followers you got? The more you got, the better you are.
Yes.
We've come to realize that that's not true. You have people with millions of followers that will never influence me to do anything. And you have people who have 100 followers and it resonates so much with who I am and what I want to do that they're going to influence me. And the second part is this interest graph, they call it.
Yes.
Basically what TikTok started, right? When you open TikTok, it doesn't really matter who you follow. It barely even, it doesn't matter at all, because even if you follow someone on TikTok, you will not get more of the content than if you didn't follow them. So that moved everything to what I'm interested in, what I want to be a part of. And it's great because you get to see different opinions and different sides of the same stories that you're interested in. So likes can't matter anymore and follows don't matter anymore. And you also have this new generation of people who will watch your entire video for 10 minutes and will not like it, because for them, liking it is putting themselves out there to their friends that they're endorsing your message, yes or no, and that they don't want that anymore.
Oh, interesting. So,
fuck. How about fucking lack of self-confidence? Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
If you like something, put your fucking stamp on it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, Jeff, are we seeing, so our decision makers of our chief marketing officers and our decision makers who own marketing budgets come into the realization that much of the vanity metrics from the last 5 to 10 years are just that? They're not real and they're fake?
It's an uphill battle. Like, some people get it, some people don't. I think CMOs are very attached to anything they can feel they can put a number on, like an easy number, because that's
it's lazy. I'll be honest. I think it's fucking lazy because Jeff has 1 million followers. He must be pretty influential.
I always say, if I could, someone said one day, the benefit of digital marketing as opposed to radio or billboards or anything is that you can measure everything.
Yeah.
If I could find that dude, I would punch him in the face before he gets caught.
Well, so the whole idea of the totally get it, the metrics of social is, I totally get that. You know, it doesn't, but I guess the question, you boil it down, the question is, if you don't have some of those metrics, the algorithm won't put you in front of new people. And for a business, social media is basically free marketing. You want to get in front of new people, correct? So is there some new twist or some new balance that I'm not recognizing? Of course, you got to stay true to your message, but that at the same time, you know, you need that message to resonate with people enough for them to show support, so the algorithm will serve it to more people, hopefully like themselves. But how do you deal with the fact that, you know, if you don't care about that stuff, which I totally get, not caring, but there has to be enough care to use the system to your advantage.
Yeah, I mean, you can't just completely forget about likes, right?
Yeah. Okay. So when you say don't care, I took that too literally.
Maybe. But I mean, if you listen to people like Adam Mosseri, who's the head of Instagram, and you know, he always answers these questions about how do I do better.
I watched so many fucking videos from that guy yesterday. Jesus Christ, I could probably imitate him.
Let's do it. Let's do it. I want to see it.
No, I was making a joke. I was, but fuck, I was like fucking cross-eyed. I'm like, Jesus Christ, you know. I like that information to, you know, come with a little bit of a. I'm always happier when there's a small element of entertainment, and I can say that, you know, with him, he's just there to purvey information, which is good. But God damn it, you know, give me a little something in there too.
I don't think it's the biggest charisma of the industry.
No.
But he says that, you know, things like views and how long someone is going to watch your videos and are the main metrics for the algorithm to recommend your video to more people. Of course, that's what he says. I don't have a proof.
And he was talking about shares too. Shares is like a new variation that they're putting a lot of weight behind.
Well, to your point earlier, it's like if you're gonna like something, you know, put your stamp on it. Sharing is the biggest signal that you agree with something and you want, you know, to be part of that side of the conversation, right? But comments are big as well. I think, you know, especially on a platform like LinkedIn, which is quickly becoming my favorite platform.
Yes.
LinkedIn still has this, what I call the amazing organic recommendation engine. It is the only platform, if you think about it, when Keith, if you comment on something, in my feed, it would show the post. It will show the post that you commented on and say, Keith commented on that.
Yeah, on John's feed. Exactly. Yes. Yeah. It's still...
And to me, that's the biggest signal of like, oh, I want to know more about that because this guy I know and I respect is like engaging with that. So I want to know, you know, is he saying something good? Is he agreeing? Is he saying something bad? You know, I want to know.
What I'm seeing in this, Jeff and John, and then John, you got to roll here in a quick minute here, John, but quickly stick around for this comment.
Sure.
I think what I'm seeing in all this, and John, you're a big fan of simplifying things. That's why I want to lean on you with this one. I think when we hear Mosseri say all these things about likes and comments and shares and so forth, we're talking about the symptoms. The fact of the matter is this: good content will always win. Yeah. So if you're
the message you can't package it. I mean, if you're trying to sell a turd, that it's always a turd.
So as long as you're making good content, it's going to win. And I think that's so John, to your point that yes, social media is free. And John, we talked about it often. And that's why I say this all the time. Jeff, I'm curious your point of view on this. If you're just dabbling in social in 2025, go spend time with your wife, go spend time with your kids. Because there's professional creators out here like John and myself that are making a living doing this and trying to make great content. And we're producing content every single fucking day and lots of it. That you who just stepped in once a week to make your content to fulfill your ego, go love your kids because you're wasting your time. Like you're not getting anywhere. You follow me, Jeff? Right? So it's the good quality content will rise to the top. Johnny, the algorithm is going to serve it to your audience and you're going to grow your business. If you're making shitty burgers, Johnny, doesn't matter how many likes you have at your restaurant, doesn't matter how many reviews.
Yes. Because the word is going to spread one way or the next.
Yeah, you're making shitty burgers. Nobody's showing up, right? And I'm glad that's finally shifting. And I was really interested to hear Jeff's comments that CMOs and marketers still aren't catching on with it. But yeah, those vanity metrics they still hold value, but we got to create better content than ever.
So you got like what I try to do is obviously the message is always first.
Yeah.
But I'll try to make sure that, you know, like the first few seconds of the video gives people an idea of what I'm going to talk about. And then, of course, looking at the right times, like if there's a certain video that I want to get out there, I know there's a certain time that I'll drop it because my people tend to be more available. So we got to use some of the stuff, some of the tools that we know will help that message because God knows there's so much, you know, clickbait that where people are putting stuff out. There's really nothing other than just all they're trying to do is hook people for 3 seconds so that the shit will get the views. So it starts blowing up. But then, so it's there's definitely a kind of a balance there for sure.
Yes. John, I know you got to rock and roll, eh, brother? I'll get you out of here.
Yeah, I got to jump.
Yeah.
Fun conversation though, brother. Thank you for your time.
100%.
Yeah, Absolutely.
All right, Johnny's gonna rock and roll. Me and Jeff, can you stick around for a few more minutes, brother, with me?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Let's do it. All right, Johnny, have a good one,
Have
brother.
a good loop, everyone. You got it.
All right, Johnny's gonna get out of here, guys. We're gonna keep the show rock and rolling with myself and Jeff Desmo here on Mornings Live with Keith and friends. Jeff, let's keep the conversation going around social media marketing and metrics and so forth. What would you say has been the most cringeworthy campaign or social media mistake that you've ever witnessed, or even perhaps made yourself?
I think I don't know about a campaign. I'm sure I could find one, but what's really cringe right now is the use of memes. I'm not against using memes, but when you open a social platform and every brand and every wannabe creators is sharing the same meme,
Yes,
it's kind of like when you go out now and everybody's dressed the same. Like you're trying so much to stand out, you're doing the same as everybody else,
yes,
and it's not gonna work. What's your voice? What's your personality? You said earlier, like if you're gonna do a bit of content, go love your kids. Yeah, well, talk to me about your kids, because at least that makes you unique. I don't need you to share the last like White Lotus HBO meme or whatever. I don't care. I've either seen it myself or I chose not to see it. I don't care about what you think of it. So just like be original, like have conversations. It's what I always said. Don't try to be liked. Be interesting. There's so many more people and brands out there that are being talked about for doing what we think is not the right thing, but they get talked about.
yes.
And that's the money being talked about.
So then lean into this with me. If you had a choice to creating a viral moment, or you had a choice to create a long sustaining moment, what would you choose?
100% the long sustaining moment.
Why?
You're doing this for a reason, right? You're on social media because you're building a show, or you're trying to sell a product, or you're trying to build a brand. Going viral, it's going to last a hot second. It's going to last a few days. Yes, you might sell products. You might get people into your shitty burger restaurant. They're all going to line up outside because he went on TikTok, and then they're all going to show up, but they're never going to come back, right? Because it's not good. But if you make it interesting, and like restaurants are interesting because sometimes you don't go for the food. You go for the atmosphere, or you go for the vibe, or you go for the people who are there.
Yes.
And that's the long conversation. It's, I want to come back because there's value in it, because it's interesting, because I kind of know what I'm going to get, but I'm still going to be surprised.
So then how do we, guys like yourself, myself, change the conversation around all of the people that are selling viral services? I can make your video go viral. I can make this go viral. And I laugh. As I said in my opener, I've been around for a while. I've been in social for a long time. I've been in the social media game for a long time. And I laugh about the virality of some people's business plans. I can make your video go viral. Good for you. It'll go viral on Friday. You're going to be dead on Monday. Yeah. How do we change the conversation, Jeff, around virality to sustainability? How do we do that as a marketer, Jeff?
I think we need to find examples outside of the marketing world.
Okay.
Like
your restaurant example. Like I like that example. That's a really good example. You're right. I make a bunch of burgers on a Friday. Everybody eats them. They're like, these are shitty. Monday, there's nobody back. It's as simple as that, right?
But if the burgers are not great, but you get to watch the game, I overheard you love hockey.
Yes.
And you get to sit with a bunch of people who are passionate about hockey, and it's the best atmosphere, and you exchange, and the burgers are still shit, but that's okay. The game is great and the company is great. That's the long sustainability moment about building something that's beyond your product, basically.
Yes. Let's move from virality and sustainability to the wonderful world that we are living in now of artificial intelligence, AI. And how is AI having an impact on Tango? How are you using it in your world? You have a team of humans. Are Toby Lutke today, the CEO of Shopify, was on record today by saying, I expect my team to be using tools. I expect you to be trying. If, we're not hiring any humans until we can actually realize that AI can't do it. How are you embracing AI in Tango, Jeff?
I think I made a post about that recently. AI is a tool, right? And you need to remember it is a tool. It is not going to replace, well, it might replace some jobs. I shouldn't say that, but it's not going to replace you, your craft and your talent and your experience. Because take an art director, graphic designer, right?
Yes.
Midjourney, ChatGPT, whatever,
Yes.
and I can
Yes.
do great designs. But you still need to be the one who knows what to ask for. You're still the one who can judge and evaluate if the output is good or not. And that science, that experience you have, that cannot be replaced with AI. AI cannot decide if what it made is good or not. It just made it.
What do you say to somebody who would disagree with you on that? I don't need an art director. I'm good enough at getting my agents to do it for me.
What again? Do you have the eye for it? I'm not saying you need to be an art director. If you're someone who appreciates good visuals,
yes.
But you still need, and you can learn how to ask AI for it. There's a ton of sites that claim to give you the prompts and teach you prompts and everything.
Yes.
But you still need to be able to say, hey, that's a good design. That's what I wanted. That's what people are gonna like.
Yeah.
And I've actually asked ChatGPT yesterday. I did a social media audit, like the basic task that the AI is great for it.
Yes.
Look at numbers, tell me what you see in numbers. And then I shared that with someone on my team, and they said, hey, that's awesome insights. Amazing. Can you make it less GPT? And I asked them, I was like, what does that mean? And it says, well, it's dry. And I was like, yeah, I get it. It's an audit. It should be dry. But I understand what you're saying. You need me to put a bit of Jeff into the insights and the findings. And
you know what I find fascinating, Jeff, is that I'm working with my sales guy here, and we've been talking about how we're communicating with folks, and he's finding success, and I'm observing it by I'm trying to find the right words, the less formal emails and messaging. So instead of spelling YOU, he's putting you. Like he's purposefully changing we're purposely creating content that looks like it was written by a human being, like you, and the grammar. And I laugh at it because it's effective, but I equally laugh at people I'm seeing in my feed going, oh yeah, this was written by AI, or that's written by AI. No fucking shit, Sherlock. Like everything is written by AI to this. And when people are calling people out, like I saw a post yesterday, it's like, yeah, if there's a hyphen in your post, it was written by AI. So fucking what?
I've literally taught ChatGPT to not use the hyphen anymore. I was like,
who cares? It's like saying, oh, I use the encyclopedia to get my facts. Good for you. Good for you. No, it just means you're using the tool.
Exactly.
And if you're not using the tool, you're being left. If you're not using the tool, you're actually being a tool.
Oh, great. I mean, but the thing is, I, like you, I create a lot of content. I'm more into the written world. Like I have a blog that I've been writing for 13 years.
Yes.
The output went from I can write 4 stories a day to I can write 12 stories a day.
Yes. Now, are the additional 8 any good? That's the debatable question. But you can now do 12 stories a day, to your point.
Yeah, and what people don't realize is that any AIs, like ChatGPT, is the simplest AI we interact with, right? It's not the smartest. It's just what it is. But you can teach ChatGPT.
Yes.
You know what I do when I want to write something? I'm like, hey, I'm gonna write about this, and I share a link or whatever.
Yes.
What would you write? Gives me this thing. Then I go write it myself, my way, and then I say, that's actually how I wrote it. And it was like, oh yeah, I can see your style. I can learn from it.
Yes.
And if you do that over and over again, you make it so much smarter. But people think that you don't have to do the work anymore.
Yeah.
You still have to do the work.
So Jeff, you've had a wonderful career in advertising, marketing, on the corporate world for many, many years. It was 20 some odd years, some of the world's biggest brands you worked with.
Correct. Yeah.
Then you decided to start your own thing. Dude, like the courage, the looking in your own mirror, the reality of it all. Take me through the moment of, all right, are you married? Do you have a partner? Are you in a relationship?
I have a partner. We have 2 kids. Yeah. So like,
was it the old, okay, I'm going on my own, wish me luck? Like, talk about the decision to do your own thing, Jeff Desmo.
I think there's 2 parts. One is kind of like being smart and looking what's happening out there, right? And if you go on LinkedIn and you look at who's liking your post, the amount of people who have the little open to work badge is scary. Right?
Yes.
literally. So that's one motivation of, hey, if I do my own thing, I'm 100% responsible of whether I'm making money or not, whether I have a job or not. So, take your responsibilities. And two is, I've spent a lot of years trying to figure out what is wrong with the advertising industry.
What's wrong with it, Jeff? What's wrong with it? Give me the nugget, brother. What's wrong with the advertising industry? Jeff Desmo, here's the hook.
I mean, there's a lot that is wrong with the industry, but it's their denial and their refusal to change. Do you know that one of the biggest holding company in advertising, not going to name them, but they're from the US.
Oh, WPP or Publicis?
That's actually Omnicom. Publicis is actually doing a good job.
Yes, of course. I used to work in the industry, so I know them all. I was bought by Dentsu Aegis, so I know the world, brother. I know quite well.
They block employees from using AI.
Don't even get me started. I saw an article last week. Okay, get me started. A bunch of CMOs from the world's biggest brands are sitting down with the big CMOs from the big holding companies saying, okay, Jeff, so we're all going to agree not to use AI. Why? So we can keep the human jobs. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, you're all so don't even get me started. Like, they're so self-perpetuating, right? And the waste that happens in those holding companies. Like, if you're a shareholder of WPP, Publicis, or Dentsu, come fucking call me. Because the waste happening in those organizations, go and ask them and implore them to use AI so you can get a fucking return on your dollar.
100%. And again, it's about making people better. It's about making the output better. It's about, creating more and better content. That's what it is. It's about getting feedback. Every time I post something, I copy paste it in ChatGPT and say, tell me what you think. I do it after because I want to post my own original thoughts anyway.
Yeah.
But still you learn from it, and I even go and, although we don't care about likes, I still give the metrics because it can associate, that's the feedback I gave you and that got like a shit ton of engagements, or that's the feedback I got you and it didn't get engagement. And it's just, it's a tool the same way that, we don't shoot with film anymore. We shoot with the iPhones.
Could you imagine if all these advertising agencies for the last 15 years said, yeah, we're not using computers and we're not using Google. We're not using we're not using Photoshop, we're not using DaVinci. We're not using any of the tools. We're all still going to use paper and pencil.
It's just, and the speed and the abilities of like even a ChatGPT to go through data. Like, it would take me days to go through something and I would get confused at some point and whatever, it takes them seconds.
But the opportunity, Jeff, is for a company like yourself at Tango, right? Not owned by a holding company. You're agile, you're fast, you're quick moving. You can attack situations promptly, proactively, using the tools that are in the market. And I'm going to think effectively compete against some of the big dogs that are slowly moving through the molasses of the world.
100%. And the benefits of doing your own thing sounds very self-centered, but it's to do what you want to do, what you believe in. And, go for the things that layers and layers of hierarchy and legal teams would not let you do if you walked somewhere else.
Yes. Hey, you're hanging out with Keith Bellis and Jeff Desmarais. Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. The only morning show to get your ass out of bed, guys. We go 8 o'clock Eastern time right here on LinkedIn, YouTube, and X. And of course, after the show, we package it up using AI tools. Oh, yeah, we do. We use AI tools for everything we do because we want to do it fast. And then what we do is we put them up on Apple and Spotify so you guys can have our content all over the planet instantly and quickly. So if you're working with one of the big holding codes, you might be getting our content in a couple of weeks from now. But we do it here quickly here in the lab. Jeff, we're coming up on I've got you much longer than I expected here today. At this part of the show, we work towards celebrating folks in the community over on Substack and LinkedIn. You want to stick around for this segment, or do you got to rock and roll and get out of here?
I can stick around for a bit.
Let's do that then. Let's do this, Jimmy. Let's do the community corner creator spotlight. And Jeff, where are you joining us from today, by the way?
Brooklyn, New York.
Oh, you're in Brooklyn, eh? Yeah. Oh, I love Brooklyn. What a great town. I'm using town with the air quotes, but I love Brooklyn, man. What a great community. How long have you been there?
I forget, 6+ years.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Hey, Jeff, are you a Substacker?
I am not, but I am an avid reader and follower of people on Substack.
So you're familiar with the platform. Any comments? Or you heard my monologue on it? What's your thoughts on it?
I agree. It's important to have this, again, use social as a tool, but have this community that you kind of feel like you own, like this first party data that nobody can take away from you. I love Substack. I started my newsletter on something else a while back, and I'm kind of, sticking with it, but Substack is a great platform. Well, listen, I got somebody who we're going to celebrate here today. So Jeff, what we do every time we're on this part of the show here, we do what we call Community Corner. We find incredible humans on the Substack platform and the LinkedIn platform, and we celebrate them. And usually we surprise them because they have no idea we're about to surprise them and celebrate them. Well, I got somebody on the Substack platform, which I'm going to introduce you to. And it goes like this. It's 6 a.m. and you're sipping your coffee, you're scrolling headlines. And Jeff, everything feels disposable. Empty hype, predictable takes, the recycled noise. And then there's one email that stops you, just stops you. It's long, but it's worth every read. I've got those. I'm sure you've gotten those. Yeah. Because this email is the one that doesn't tell you what's happening. It shows you how and why it matters. Not with hot takes, but with depth, real research, smart structure, insights that you'd expect from a fund memo or board deck delivered for free to your inbox, just like that. The creator we're celebrating here, Jeff, breaks down how Stripe scales, how Sequoia plays the long game, how AI, venture, and startups are actually evolving. Founders read it, operators study it, investors wait for it. This, Jeff, isn't content. What this guy's creating is an advantage. Jimmy, Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends is excited to introduce all of you to Spotlight Mario Gabriel. Jeff, Mario is the founder of the companies, investors, and trends actually work. He's built this newsletter for founders, operators, and investors who want serious research on startups, venture, and AI. So if you're in that space and you want analysis that goes beyond the headlines, I invite all of you to follow Mario and subscribe to The Generalist over on Substack. The guy's creating great content that's going to sit in your inbox that you're going to want to read. I can guarantee that. And Mario, here's how it works, man. I'm celebrating you today with my buddy Jeff. We'd love to have you in the lab so that you can take the old Mornings in the Lab spotlight and shine it on somebody in your world so we can continue to pay this awesome segment forward. So, my brother, Mario, we're celebrating you this morning, my friend. Mornings Lab with Keith and Friends, myself, Jeff Desmo, and producer Jimmy. We're getting after it, and we're celebrating you today here in the lab. So there you go, The Generalist. That's how part of the segment goes here, Jeff. And I invite you to check out Mario Gabriel. He's making some great content over on the platform. And then, Jeff, I got one more for you here too, dude. I know you've been you've been spending more time on the LinkedIn platform, and that's actually where we are building our businesses over on LinkedIn, because I like the organic nature of it. I like the real humans that are on the platform, and there's just I like the connections that are happening, and we've been spending a lot of time on the platform. But this next person we're going to celebrate goes like this. It's easy to post about success. It's harder to post when things fall apart, right? It's just, I'm not posting it. Things are falling apart. But that's when people actually start paying attention. When you stop pretending that everything's fine and you start telling the truth. And that's what made this next creator stand out. And that's why I wanted to celebrate this person in the lab here. And Jimmy, it looks like my mouse just died on me here. And I actually can't change my get that. Hey, can you look at that right now? It just dies in the middle of the show here. Hold on one second. I need to do that and do that. And then that. So as I was saying, it's easy to post about success. It's hard to post when things fall apart. And that's what made this next creator stand out. He doesn't post for engagement, Jeff. He posts because he's got something real to say. And that's why I'm enjoying LinkedIn. When I see content from some of the creators that I really enjoy, they're speaking truth. They're not speaking just engagement fluff, right? And this guy we're celebrating today has been in the room. He's built the teams. He's driven results. And when life hits hard, the guy didn't disappear. The guy kept showing up just like this show, with clarity, with experience, with calm. This morning, Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends is excited to introduce you to John S. Potita.
Yeah, fractional CMO with 15 plus years of experience. The guy knows growth, he knows brand, and he knows how to lead without performance. Some days he's breaking down how to turn free offers into revenue. Other days, the guy's talking about what happens when loyalty isn't returned. They both just hit as hard because both are honest. He's not here to sound smart. He's here to share what he's learned. So guys, listen, if you're a growth marketer, a CMO, a founder, or anyone responsible for driving cash revenue, John's someone worth learning from. Follow him, pay attention to him, tell him Uncle Keith sent you, and apply what fits. And hey, we want to invite you to the lab, John, so you can celebrate somebody in your world and we can pay this whole experience forward. There you go, guys. John Espatidia. Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends celebrating you this morning over on the LinkedIn platform. So that's how it works. How it works, Jeff. That's how our whole experience works here. Your first time to the lab. Enjoyed having you in here, my brother. Have you had some fun with us today?
Same. It was great. It was really great.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what do you got planned for today, brother? What do you got on the agenda today?
Got a few meetings.
Yes, you and I are meeting today. I got you on the calendar later today. I want to catch up here for a few minutes and do a debrief with you.
Yeah, and I have that's something I can share. I have a daily plan, right? So things I do every day to keep me, keep my mojo going, keep being creative. So I go through my things. I post a ton of comments on LinkedIn. I write at least 5 articles a day, but also things like 1 meditation a day, go for a walk, do a vlog. I'm actually not as confident as you are, and I do my vlogs, but I don't publish them. But yeah, I go through my day doing the same things day after day, and then meetings and create shit,
So I want to re-ask this question because I'm really glad you've went here with me. What are Jeff Desmo's non-negotiables?
I always say what I want to say, but sometimes I'm smart enough to know that I shouldn't share it publicly.
Do tell.
A lot of people do know that I do these daily vlogs, and they're like, "Why are you not sharing them?" I was like, "Probably because I'm talking shit about you."
Yeah.
My non-negotiables is have respect. Have respect for the craft. Have respect for what you do. Have respect for others. I'm big on that. I want to be respected, and it starts by respecting others.
Yeah.
So that's probably my number one non-negotiable.
Keep leaning into the non-negotiables for Jeff Desmo as the human. You get up first thing in the morning, you do meditation, you write. Talk to me about how you take care of yourself first as a leader so you can lead your children, your partner, your family, and your business. Because I believe this, Jeff.
Yeah.
If you're not taking care of yourself first, nothing else matters. And you've seen our 30 minutes together here as somebody who absolutely takes care of himself first. Let's lean into that. I'll re-ask the question. What are your non-negotiables to take care of Jeff Desmo first?
So I'm just going to make a quick parallel. One of the things that I remember the most in my life is when you're on an airplane and they go through the security checks.
Yep.
Put the oxygen mask on you first, then help others.
Yes.
Because you can't breathe and you're dead, you're not going to help anyone.
Yes.
It's take care of yourself. Whatever works for you. If your thing is to wake up at 5 a.m. and go run for 2 hours, do that. If your thing is to wake up and meditate for 10 minutes, do some push-ups, have some coffee, do what makes you happy. Take care of yourself. Eat the right things. Also eat the things that make you happy sometimes. But it has to be Jeff first, because if Jeff is not 100%, Jeff cannot show up for others.
I love the simplicity of your message because I believe in the same thing. Do you have a certain time in the day where you're like, okay, I haven't taken care of Jeff yet. It's already 1 o'clock or it's 3 o'clock and I'm kind of fucked. Like, is there a point in your day where you're like, I need to get my non-negotiables done by a certain time?
Yeah, I mean, there is. Like I said, I love to go for long walks, and that has to happen before it gets dark. It has to happen when I get some sunlight on my face.
Yes.
And I try to get it done at a regular time, but that's not always possible. Meetings, life, whatever.
Yes.
But when it turns around, like right now, this time of year, when it turns around 4, you gotta go, gotta drop it all, gotta go.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So Jeff, before we say goodbye, where can my audience, where can my community find you? How can they connect with Tango? How can they connect with Jeff Desmo? Now is your chance to plug the hell out of everything you're working on, what you're working on, all that stuff, my brother.
So I'm on most social platforms. I'm known as Jeff DX, which is, shorter version than to have my whole name there. But you'll find me on LinkedIn. Tango, there's a few Tango on LinkedIn, but we call ourselves the Conversation Agency, which is a big differentiator. I also have a website that's probably 14 years old now. That's wersm.com, where we post about social media news, culture.
Nice. Yes.
But yeah, my name is hard to pronounce, but if you have the spelling right, you'll find me. There's not many of us out there.
Jeff, you mentioned that, Tango, the conversation agency. I'm building a business around conversation and the power of live conversation. I think it's we all have them, so we all take them for granted. Yet a powerful moving conversation can move mountains. It can move humans. It can make markets change. Talk about the power of the conversation agency and how you guys are doing things differently compared to how other agencies are perhaps chasing virality, chasing moments, but you're chasing real conversations. Jeff.
It's all about the conversation. It's all about the story, right? A good story is never a moment. A good story has a build-up. It has something that surprises you, shocks you, scares you, and then there's a resolution. You need to do that with everything. And if you can do that with one post, do it, but I don't think you can. It's about showing up, adding up, finding your voice, really thinking about the end goal, have a reason why you do things, very important, because a lot of brands don't really have a reason why they do things outside of shareholders and all that. And then stick to it and be consistent. And don't pay attention to the likes, because you post on Tuesday may not have gotten that many likes, but it's part of your story, and it's what's going to make Thursday successful.
Oh, I love that, Jeff. Jeff, are you finding that brands and marketers and people that you're selling to are leaning into and accepting what you're saying around the idea of conversation and the importance of conversation for the future of marketing?
I think the brand that care, get it. The brand that care about the audience, care about the world, care about, the heritage, they understand that. There's many brands that just care about making a buck, which is, you got to respect that, but they're not going to understand that approach to like long-term stories and conversation.
And it's that same brand, I'm going to assume, Jeff, as we wrap up, is chasing the viral moment.
They are.
They chase the viral moment. They chase the viral moment. And what I love about virality, love and hate about it, and I think you can appreciate this, virality is the ultimate ego trip, isn't it? Hey, I got my video to 1 million views and I feel good about myself. Keith, how much products did you sell? Oh, nothing, but I feel good about myself because 1 million people saw it.
Yeah.
It's crazy, isn't it?
And I mean, sometimes virality happens, right? You're actually doing the right thing and it goes viral and then it's awesome, but it shouldn't be what you seek.
Yeah. Well, and what I've also found in my experience, and I'm going to suspect you concur, much of that virality is gamed as well. Yeah. So when you game virality, there's no truth underneath it. It's like building a house on a glass foundation, waiting for it to break.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Jeff Desmo, I appreciate your conversation, man. What a great time. I've thoroughly enjoyed having you in here. I got you for much longer than I had asked you to stick around. We booked you for 13. I got you for 45. Brother, I appreciate you. I enjoyed the chat. We come on and hang out again sometime. I'm looking forward to catching up later today and make some more content together with me.
See, when the conversation is good, time flows by, right?
So true, my friend. It's so true, my friend. All right, guys, we're going to say goodbye to Jeff. I'll look forward to seeing you a little bit later this morning for a one-on-one for a quick catch-up.
All right, sounds good.
Awesome. All right, Jimmy, we're going to walk Jeff out of the lab here. We're going to work towards wrapping up. Jeff Desmo is getting out of here. And you're left with me. Lauren, I see your comments. Yeah, I thought we were great together. I'm thinking that if Johnny or Marty don't show up, I can get Jeff Desmo, because I love the accent. I fuck the guys in Brooklyn, but I thought I was talking to a Parisian. It was awesome. Jeff Desmo, the CEO founder of Tango, I would invite you to go back to the last 45. We had some great conversations around virality and content that works, conversation. Jeff runs a conversation agency. And here's what's funny, guys, is that we think of conversation as something we do all the time, so we take them for granted. We talk. But when you really have a intentional conversation or telling a story through conversation, that's where magic happens. And Jeff's agency, Tango, delivers just on that. So I invite you to go check out that conversation we have with Jeff Desmo. What a great conversation we had here today with Jeff. All right. Well, Jimmy, I'm turning up the sounds. Jim, 2 hours, man. 120 on the books here today. What a fun show. Jimmy, give me something in the comments there. What do you got? Do I got a flame? Do I got a boom? Do I got a great show? What am I getting from the boss here today? In the comments here, what am I getting? Oh, I got the flame, guys. I got the one flame from Jimmy. Fuck, the guy couldn't even give me two today. Give me one. I'm maybe tomorrow when I get my voice all back, you get two flames. Tomorrow we got Nicole Bernard joining us here. As much as we credit Marty and Johnny for being around with the show to get this thing off the ground, it was Nicole Bernard. Yes, this is a men's show for men, but it was a woman. Yeah. That helped get this thing going. Nicole Bernard's going to join us here tomorrow mornings in the lab with Keith and friends. And then I think we've got a bunch more guests here on Thursday as well. So we're going to get after it here. We're going to get out of here for the day. I'm going to quickly look at tomorrow's show here, because tomorrow's show is about, facing rejection. How facing my fear of rejection transformed my life. I'm going to lean into my experiences selling photocopiers at Xerox. True story. You gotta be rejected a lot to get anything. Like, I mean a lot. Like, you're knocking on 1,000 doors to get one door to open up. You're knocking on 100 doors to get a lot. You're having a lot of people tell you to fuck off. You have a lot of people say no. Fine, say yes. Tomorrow we're talking rejection. Nicole Bernard. But anyways, I'm doing the pee dance. I got a couple coffees in me. I got some water in me. And unlike Marty and Johnny, who I give them the reason to go have a pee. Yeah, it's just how we got into the show here. Uncle Keith's still standing here doing the dance. So it's time to get out of here. It's time to go to work. On behalf of, where's my buttons? There they are. There it is. On behalf of producer Jimmy, Melissa behind the scenes, keeping us all honest, John, Marty, on behalf of everybody in the comments, Dugan, got prayers for your wife, my brother, Clody, Holroyd, good time, Lauren, the whole gang. I appreciate all of you guys for showing up. We're going to get out of here. We'll see you guys tomorrow, 8 o'clock Eastern time, right here on LinkedIn, YouTube, and X. And of course, Apple Podcasts and Spotify after the show. We're getting out of here. I got to go. See you guys later. See you tomorrow.